Howdy y'all, TheJTJ here with RollToWound.com. We're continuing our deep dive into the Soulblight Gravelords battle tome. We're looking at the Warscrolls for Lauka Vai and Vengorian Lords. So, stick around. Alright, so we're going to be covering the Vengorian Lords today. Lauka Vai, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. I could be wrong. Let me know. Mother of Nightmares, our mommy. So, let's dig right into it. It's got a 12-inch move, 11 wounds, a 3-up save, and 10 bravery. That is all very good. We're looking at the weapons. So you have the rapier, 4 attacks, 3/3, -1, 2 damage. The Gordran's talons, 3 attacks, 4 threes, -1, and D6. That's a big damage dealer, and it's 3 inches, so you can fight over the line. Impaling Tail, which is a variable attack, so D6, 4s, 4s, and 1 damage. She is a named character and a single model. And if you take her in the Amangori dynasty, she is also a general in addition to any general that you have. She can fly. First ability is Champions of the Vengorian. After this model makes a charge move, you can pick one enemy unit within 1 inch of the model and roll a number of dice equal to the charge roll for the move. For each 5 up, it suffers 1 mortal wound. So it's basically impact hits based off of how much you charged in. So not bad, a nice little bonus. While an enemy unit, this is Nightmare's Miasma. While an enemy unit is within 3 inches of a friendly model with this ability, worsen the rend characteristic of that unit's melee weapon by 1. Very good ability. You're negating the rend if they're within 3 inches. And you'll see a lot of stuff with Vengorian and the lords too, that they're making things more survivable. They're trying to make their monsters more survivable. So your zombie dragons, your terrorgeist, and themselves, they want to help keep them alive. Undeniable impulse. At the start of your hero phase, roll a dice for this model. If the roll is equal to or less than the number of the current battle round until your next hero phase, this model can run and still charge later in the same turn. However, this model cannot use command abilities into your next hero phase. I think this rule is written like very oddly to me. It's very confusing. I don't like the way it's worded. But basically, at the start of your hero phase, one of the first things you're going to do is you're going to roll a dice. And if it's equal to or less than the number of the current battle round, so if it's round 1 and you rolled a 1, this would kick in, or so on and so forth. You can run and charge. Run and charge is a cool ability. I think it's really great on this model. I like it. Problem is, you cannot use command abilities into your next hero phase. And when this book came out in 2nd edition, I went, okay, who cares? I'd rather have the run and charge. Well, now that we sort of see 3rd edition, there's so much command ability generation and usage that this is a super big negative. And I really don't like this rule in here. The hunger. Just like every vampire, if she kills a model, she's going to heal D3. Magic, she can cast 1. Her signature spell is Death's Downpour. Death's Downpour has a casting value of 8. If successfully cast, charge rolls made for enemy units within 12 of this model are halved until your next hero phase. So the casting value is a little much. It's one of the higher ones at 8. However, it's making a bubble of half charge for enemy units. This is very nice. This is a very, very good ability, and it will totally hamper many armies. Think about if you've got this up and people are deep striking and trying to make those longer charges, it's going to really mess them up. They're not going to be able to do it. Basically, if somebody's really close to you, let's say they're 3 inches away and they just need to roll, anything but snake eyes. Well, this is going to have that, and it doesn't say anything about rounding up, so it looks like that you're going down to the half-inch mark as well. So it's a super good spell. Her command ability is a queen amongst monsters. Uses command's ability once per turn in your hero phase. If you do so, pick an enemy unit on the battlefield, and to your next hero phase, add 1 to the hit rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by friendly Soulblight Gravelord monsters that target that enemy unit. So I like this, that it's board wide. So you can, if you go first, you can pick the thing in the corner and go, hey, I want my guys to kill that. And it's a good buff. Solid command ability. Keywords: Death, Vampire, Soulblight Gravelords, Avengorian Dynasty, Monster, Hero, Wizard, and Lauka Vai. So the cost is coming in at $285, which I do like these costs for these Vengorian lords. Also, I will draw attention to, I saw this on the internet when she was first released, and I really thought this was interesting because, you know, we always talk about appropriation. GW's really been big on having their own trademarkable names, images, and likenesses. And you see something like that, it makes you go, interesting. But going back to the cost, I do like the cost for these monsters because I believe, you know, they cost more than your average 150 to 200 point hero. They cost less than your zombie dragon, vampire lord and zombie dragon. So they fit that middle ground. I feel that these are, if you're not building a whole list around them, I think they make a nice second hero on the board. Avengorian Dynasty, Monster, and Vampire are the big keywords to know. Looking at the max wound output is 32, which is very, very good. Except average wound output is around 6. Of course, like we talk about these, that number is going to go up because you're going to all-out attack. There's all sorts of bonuses and buffs and spells and different things to help that out, but that is just your raw numbers. And she's super spiky on damage because there are some D6 rolls. You know, there's D6 damage rolls and there's D6 attack rolls, and that's what makes it fluctuate so much. Because if you're looking at 32 wounds, you would think that, well, shouldn't she be doing around 12 to 15 on average? Nope, it goes way down because of those D6 damage and attack number rolls. So let's look at the good. Good move and armor save. Nightmare Miasma is a good buff. Death's Downpour is a very nice spell. Command ability is board wide. Damage can spike over 20. Pretty easy. Bad damage output is not consistent. I could see you charging in and thinking, hey, I'm going to take off this, you know, this little 10 wound unit real quick, and then you just flub all your rolls, and next thing you know, you're like, dude, I did like 5 damage. Like many other heroes in the book, can do a bit of everything, and it's not really great at one thing. A lot of the vampire heroes are like that, where they're casters, they're buffers, they're also close combat guys too. So you're getting a mixed bag. An undeniable impulse. I'm still not a fan of that. I think it could hurt you at the wrong time, and I think too that you'll forget about it a lot as you're playing. You'll take it for granted that that it's went off or it hasn't went off. So if you're playing someone with Vengorian Lords, you're almost going to have to track their undeniable impulse, because I can see this getting forgotten or misused a lot in the game, and probably by accident a lot. But it's one of those things. Only 5 points more than a regular Vengorian Lord. For what you get an extra wound, extra general, impact hits, a very good spell, and a very good command ability. You give up being able to equip enhancements. I can see argument for taking her or a regular Vengorian Lord or not. And I'm not I think it's really set up to what you're trying to do and what you want your list to be, and whether she is better than a regular Vengorian Lord. She has really good stuff going on for only 5 points more, but if you take some of those enhancements and put them on your just a plain Vengorian Lord, they might fit into your list and do something better than she would be able to do in that list. Undeniable Impulse is a crap rule in this edition. I find at 285 points she fits into a mid-size hero price range. By no means an auto-include in a list, but could find a good value in any dynasty. Yes, you can take her in other dynasties. She'll lose out on some things, but not bad. And you could start looking at how would you use that command ability, how good Death's Downpour could be in other dynasties. All right, Death Downpour is an A minus above average casting, 12-inch bubble, could be a game winning. Also, no rounding up, so keep that in mind. So I'm sort of torn here. This could really be an A minus all the way up to an A. It does a bit of everything, but leaves me feeling like lacking on damage consistency. I feel a little bit let down, and I could be let down in a big moment. Also, you may not be able to use command abilities if you failed her undeniable impulse roll. Feels a need as a second hero. So really, what really took her down from the A category in my mind is just undeniable impulse sort of being there and making it, and her damage is really swingy too. So it's like I just can't give it an A. But by no means, if you see this on the board, should you not be scared of her. I think that she does a good job at what she does. All right, moving on to the Vengorian Lord. This is the non-named version of this unit. Basically, the move and everything is the same, except you lose 1 wound over her. Nightmare Saber. All this damage stuff is about the same, so you can look that over. Model can fly. Nightmare Miasma, which I think is an overlooked ability on these Warscrolls. I think that's pretty good, especially if you're playing more of elite armies. That -1 to rend is super nice. Undeniable Impulse, the same on this one. Also has the Hunger, which is healing that D3 once you kill a model. So these, even though their wounds aren't that big, they will come back. And a 3-up save is nothing to, it's nothing to sneeze at, especially if you all out defense. It brings you up to 2+ if you can, because Undeniable Impulse isn't, going off. Magic. So wizard also, and the signature spell is Clotted Deluge. Clotted Deluge has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick 1 enemy unit within 12 of the caster that is visible to them. Add 1 to the wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons that target that unit until your next hero phase. So it's the range isn't board wide. It isn't a huge range, but you're getting add 1 to the wound rolls, and this is that's everybody. Everybody's getting +1 to that, and that's very nice. Obviously, that is capped, and there's other ways in the book to get +1 to wounds and stuff, but that's something you want to look at if you're taking spells of certain sorts. You might want to, hey, I've got Clotted Deluge over here, and that's going to be my pluses to wound. I might have another spell that gives me a plus to hit, something like that when you're sort of constructing your list. But good, it's a good spell. If the casting value is low, if the range was a little bit more, it'd be even better. Command abilities, Festering Feast. You can use this command ability at the end of a combat phase, and any attacks made by a friendly Soulblight Gravelords unit in that phase destroyed an enemy unit. If you do so, you can heal up to D6 wounds allocated to the Soulblight Gravelord unit. The same unit cannot benefit more than once per phase. So if you have a unit and it doesn't specify monster or anything, it could be any unit you have, kills another unit, you can pop this for D6 right there on them. And this is going back to what I was talking about with Vai about how they want to heal up the big monsters and keep your big monsters alive. This plays right into that. Now, it is a little swingy at being a D6, but if you do hit that 5 or that 6 on it, you're bringing your Vengorian Lord or your zombie dragon on, from half health all the way to full. So it's a good command ability. Looking at the keywords: Death, Vampire, Soulblight Gravelords, Monster Hero, Wizard, and Vengorian Lord. All right, we're coming in at 280 points. Vampire, Monster, Hero, and Wizard is to keep in mind. And, we keep highlighting the monster thing, and that's because in 3rd edition, they're going to get that end of charge phase sort of extra little bonus ability. Go to, stop somebody from getting a command. Destroy a piece of terrain, all sorts of stuff. So monster keyword in this edition is important and has good value. Max wound output 32, average damage is 6, just like the mother. Once again, super spiky, swingy damage on these guys. If they're hitting right, they're really good. The good can take enhancements. This will increase his damage output and utility. Nightmares, Miasma, Clouded Deluge, Festering Feast, all good. So 3 good spells abilities on his Warscroll. Good value at a mid-priced hero. The bad, damage is spiky, does a little of everything, master of none, needs to reach his full potential. Needs enhancements to reach his full potential. So I think as you're picking out your Vengorian Lord and adding him into your list, and the good thing is I think they fit into every bloodline. They have a place. They have somewhere they can go into every bloodline. It makes a good place to put your enhancements from that bloodline on them. You can kit them out however you want. Once again, they do have a 3-inch range, so they can be a backline fighter. They can fight over a line of zombies. If you don't want to run them straight and make them just in the front to keep them alive a little bit longer. So you can put those sort of aura buffing enhancements on them as opposed to the straight combat enhancements if you wanted to. Enhancements can make the Vengorian Lord a very good frontline fighter or a backline hero. Undeniable Impulse is a crap rule in this edition. I find that 280 points fits into the mid-size hero price range. Same thing as Mom, not an auto include, but if I saw it in a list, I don't go, why'd you take that? I say, oh, that has some use. His command ability works on self. Also, to look to your big monster to keep them running. This ability alone could be a reason to take him. All right, we got Clouded Deluge. I gave this an A-. Below average casting, +1 to wound against a unit is great. Range is okay. Just all around, solid spell. Every turn you should be thinking, can I cast this? Do I need to cast this? Unit rating, A-. Now, like I said, you can argue that Mother of Nightmares is better than a Vengorian Lord. And I can see both sides. The reason, because I think her command abilities are a little bit better. However, I think with the enhancements, it puts the Vengorian Lord just a little bit above. And that's my opinion. Unit rating is an A, and I feel I'll be let down in big moments. Also, you might not be able to use command abilities if you fail the undeniable impulse roll. So that's the biggest thing that I look at these units and I go, oh, if they just didn't have undeniable impulse, it could work for you, it could work against you. Feels a need as a second hero, or you can build a whole army and make this your beat stick. Enhancements will make him very good. So all in all, even though we're not even talking about the model itself, I know that there's a lot of conjecture on these models. Not a huge fan of it, but the rules wise, I think they're spot on. And I think if you took a Vengorian Lord in your army, it's at a really good price point to take for what it does. And that does it for the Vengorian Lord and the Mother of Nightmares. Check out our next videos where we'll be looking at some more hero war scrolls. Thanks for watching, and y'all be good.